Welcome to Chris Strub Unmuted. I'm Chris Strub, and today we're talking about loving dogs. I know that a lot of you guys watching and listening probably know exactly where I'm coming from on this feeling of just genuine love for your pet. This is Chris Strub Unmuted, a show designed for open dialogue, honest reflection, and uncensored truth about the lives that we lead. Today's episode talks about loving dogs. And if there was ever a topic that I've looked forward to discussing, it's this one. Okay, so the first thing you're going to ask is, Chris, why are you wearing a Christmas robe and a hat that we probably haven't really seen before? Okay, so for this season, which is coming out in mid-February, I am attempting to wear different variations of red for each episode. Maybe you've watched or listened to some of the other episodes. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of your favorite audio-only spots here, I am wearing a baseball cap that has a logo of a Chihuahua on it. This is a hat from the El Paso Chihuahuas. This is a giving day that I got to work with a couple of years ago out in El Paso, Texas. It was a great experience. I loved working with the team at the Paso del Norte Community Foundation, and a big fan of their giving day, which happens every October. Would love to be back out there possibly in the future. And the El Paso Chihuahuas really just do an incredible job out there at their ballpark as well. It was a blessing to be able to host that giving day at their stadium. And then I'm wearing a Christmassy kind of robe here. Ironically, although you've probably never seen me wear this robe before, it's probably the number one piece of clothing that I've worn the most over the last couple months because it has been so cold here in Greenville, South Carolina. And the reason I've really had to wear this robe a lot is because back right after Thanksgiving, I adopted my first dog, and her name is Link. And if you're wondering why her name is Link, I recorded an entire episode. You got to go back to season 1. Check out that episode on onomastics, which is the science of our proper names. I do have a third piece of clothing here handy. So in my hands now, I'm showing the camera a tiny little puppy sweater. On the back of it, it says Happy Holidays. Now, Link absolutely loved wearing this sweater. I was going to try and put it on in some capacity to be silly for this episode, but I can just hold it up here for you. When I adopted Link, she was just about 15 to 16 pounds, and she fit into this tiny little puppy sweater, and it was the cutest damn thing ever. She actually loves putting the sweater on, which, being a first-time dog owner, I didn't expect to be the case. You'd think you put a piece of clothing onto a dog and they're likely going to hate it. And that wasn't the case with this sweater, right? So I did buy a couple other puppy sweaters that were a little less comfortable. I brought home a souvenir puppy sweater from my trip to New Orleans, stopped at a Buc-ee's, and ended up buying the wrong size. She certainly doesn't love squeezing into that tiny little, it's like a bikini on her, right? It's way too small. And now this sweater, sadly, is too small for her too. And this is really my first experience with having clothing for, I guess, not someone else, but, an animal that is now too small for her. And it's a little sad, but at the same time, I'm probably going to keep this sweater forever because, well, one, I'm a pack rat. I don't get rid of anything. If you're watching this video, you can see evidence of that. behind me in my still messy studio here. About 9 months into home ownership, still haven't really cleaned this place up the way I should. But even in my garage and everything, I still have way too much stuff. But this sweater, I hold it closely to my heart right now because Link is actually not here, which is a little tough for this episode. Link right now, as we're recording, is undergoing boarded training, which was scheduled for 2 weeks. It's actually going to be extended by several days because of the awful weather that we've had. My trainer, shout out to Sean at Jetline Training, has not been able to get Link out of the house as much as they would have liked to. So I'm going to go even longer without my baby girl. But guys, when I tell you I love this dog so, so much, and I miss her a lot, um, it's hard to even talk through the feelings right now without having her here behind me. And I know that a lot of you guys watching and listening probably know exactly where I'm coming from on this feeling of just genuine love for your pet. And I would really love to hear in the comments about your pet and what is it that you love about your pet. Again, we're talking mostly about dogs today because I do consider myself a dog person. But I would say I'm a cat person too. You know, growing up, as you probably know, my parents are divorced, and my dad has always been a dog person. My mom is not a dog person. My mom is a cat person. Um, Sadly, right now, my mom and my stepdad do not currently have a cat in the house. That could change by the time this episode is released. So cross your fingers. Put in the comments, come on, Jane. Come on, Jane, it's cat time. Just put it in the comments so I can show her that you're listening and that we're rooting for my mom to get another cat now. But just growing up, going back and forth between households, I was constantly exposed to, Shari and then Lolly and now Murphy and Bear at my dad's house. And then growing up on mom's side, mom had most of the custody growing up. It was Nutmeg and then Shadow, our two just wonderful, wonderful cats that I had the opportunity to grow up with at mom's house. And the everlasting affection that you feel from an animal that you are responsible for is unmatched, right? When I come home and I work from home, so when Link is here, I get to spend most of the day with her, which is amazing. I can get up between phone calls or between things that I'm working on and just get some loving from her anytime I want it. But especially that feeling of returning back home and seeing your dog's reaction when that door opens and then you come over. I do keep Link crated for now. I think as she gets older, and especially once she's through with this training, we may be able to keep her, in some of the gated areas so she doesn't come eat all the random stuff on my desk, like this box of nails or these batteries or I've got a rock on the desk. Like, what is this rock doing on my desk? Right. So we do keep her crated for now, but opening up that crate and getting those puppy hugs. And I'm a big puppy kisses guy. If you find me on Instagram at Chris Strub, and you know what an Instagram highlight is, which hopefully you do from having read 15 Seconds of Fame, which I do not have handy, but I always should. My book about Instagram stories, you can read about Instagram highlights. If you want to see me kissing dogs for about 3 to 4 minutes, you can click on the Puppy Kisses highlight on my Instagram account right now, because I cannot get enough affection from dogs that I meet across the spectrum of all sizes, of all breeds. And now, finally, there's a lot of you guys that might be listening that are like, Strub, I've been rooting for you to get a dog for years and years and years. Shout out to my friend Julia up in Buffalo. I told her like 3 years ago, like, put me on the spot. This is the year, Strub, you need to get a dog. And it finally happened in Thanksgiving, right around Thanksgiving weekend, 2025. And there's just a whole new level of love that is unlocked when it is your dog that you are taking care of, and your dog that you know you put to bed every night. I almost said put to sleep. Very bad phrasing, especially for my 5-month-old puppy. Hopefully, we are ages and ages and ages away from the put to sleep conversation, but put her to bed every night, wake up and get those first thing in the morning puppy hugs, take her outside wearing the very stylish Christmassy robe that is still a very important part of my wardrobe here as we head into February 2026. Just those everyday moments of joy, getting to feed the dog, giving treats. And now, as she's gotten older, vaccinated, getting out, I took her to the dog park day before we went and dropped her off at training. That was a lot of fun. Getting to walk around Unity Park and getting to meet humans and kids and other dogs along the way. And obviously once she gets back, we'll do a lot more. And once we get into the spring where the weather is going to be really nice and there's so much more that you can do with a dog, I do plan to run races with Link, as she starts to get older, and go back to the store and buy increasingly large puppy sweaters and accessories and treats and toys. And to have a dog, it just feels like a cheat code in life sometimes, to be able to draw that love and affection from that dog, especially when they're young as a puppy. But I also do really want to shout out people who bring in older dogs to their homes as well. My good buddy Seth Mates and his much better half Jen do that frequently, or have done that frequently throughout their lives, is bring in older dogs to their household. And I have nothing but immense respect and love and appreciation for Seth and Jen, and for everyone who adopts older dogs as well. I could absolutely see that being something that I do in the future as well, whether it's with Link or in an era, God forbid, someday long in the future after Link. So much love for anyone who adopts a dog and brings in a dog to your household and to your family. It really is like adding a family member to the family. And if you've ever brought home a cat, a dog, a parrot, a snake, whatever animal might be in your household or might have been in your household in the past, you know exactly what I'm talking about, that it really is like a family member, which is why it's been difficult over these last couple of weeks without Link to feel that emptiness in the house without her. And while we're on this topic of loving dogs, I want to give another shout out to everyone who's ever fostered an animal in your life as well. I know my good buddy Dan Gingus has fostered animals and dogs over the last few years, especially as his kids have gotten older. Shout out to Mark and Samantha. Good luck in college. Appreciate you guys too. Last week was my first experience fostering a dog. So long story short, this gets a little complicated. Link is at boarded training. So for a 2-week period here, my dog-friendly house has been open. And last weekend, there was a massive winter storm that covered basically the entire country. So I was able to go to the Humane Society and bring in a puppy named Ben. We'll put Jeff to work again here. Maybe we can put up a picture, a little video of Ben as I'm talking about Ben. Ben was here for a week. Ben is a about 15-pound little black, like Malinois. Am I saying that right? Mix. Who has a strange affinity sometimes for eating his own poop, which I'm certain he will quickly grow out of. Um, please don't jump in and criticize me for letting a dog eat his own poop. Trust me, I swooped in as fast as I possibly can, and I'm a pretty quick on my feet guy. So Ben was just so loving and so friendly and so soft and so sweet. And Ben is currently up for adoption, at least as of this morning. When I started recording, may already have been adopted by now. That's how wonderful the folks here in Greenville, South Carolina are, and the team at the Greenville Humane Society are. So very, very important to acknowledge the beautiful, wonderful, soft, sweet, caring, loving, compassionate souls who work both at the Greenville Humane Society and at similar locations and humane societies and animal shelters all across the United States. Just shout out to you this February. Shout out to you this Valentine's season. I love the dedication that all of you guys show to all of those animals every day through your work. It is so noble and so impressive and just so wonderful. And I am just eternally grateful to now be able to call myself a dog parent. And for now, still kind of a puppy parent. I'm going to cling to the idea of being a puppy parent, and the same way that I'm clinging to this this red sweater here in my hands for as long as I can. But boy, I can't wait to grow old with Link for many, many years to come. And I'm so proud of you if you and your family are pet parents, and especially those of you who have adopted shelter animals or been foster parents over the years. I love you guys. I want to express that love through this episode and through a constant sense of appreciation for who you are, what you're about, and just we know as pet parents that although it feels like it can be a lot of work, it can be an investment. We know that the love that we get back from our animals, and for me, it was last week from Ben, and for the rest of her life now, Link. It is a love that is unmatched and unparalleled, and certainly something to be celebrating this Valentine's season. Link, I love you, and I can't wait to share countless experiences with you. Take silly pictures of you with this sweater as you quickly triple in size, and just develop a love for you as these days, months, years ahead go by, because we all deserve love in our lives every single day. And for me lately, that love, there is no stronger love and no stronger bond for me than the bond that I feel for my very special, beloved puppy, Link. So, Link, I love you, buddy. Thanks for listening to Chris Strub Unmuted. Support the show by clicking like and subscribe. Keep up with me on social media at Chris Strub. Keep up with Link on Instagram at Link the Mountain Cur. We'll put that in all the show notes. And remember, we are all famous to a few people.